Hey guys, welcome back. Today is going to be a quick video. A lot of you guys asked for the chocolate protein pumpkin muffins that I made, the recipe for that last week, so that is what we are jumping on to do. I pulled this recipe off of Instagram actually on Matt's Fit Chef. Any of my baking recipes, I actually pull off of his site, a lot of them. He has some really good recipes and the macro breakdowns are pretty good, but I did change his recipe up some to make them even lower in fat, a little bit more carb, but lower fat, lower calorie. His recipe calls for a lot more peanut butter and I think that's pretty much the only thing I adjusted. So I added a little bit more pumpkin versus peanut butter just for that same like moisture like quantity in the recipe. So we're gonna get started. It's pretty easy. I did write down all the ingredients. I will try to list them out in either the comments or you guys can let me know, send me a message if you want to get the full recipe. But we start out. My oven is already on, it's at 350, and then because I've been cooking all day, but I have my cupcake tin with my liners and I did coat them. I usually use silicone ones, but I don't know where they are right now. So I have the paper ones, I did coat them so then it doesn't completely stick to them whenever I go to pull them out. The recipe also calls for 9 on here, but I made mine with 10 so then I can have a little bit lower calories. And then it calls for a lot more chocolate chips, and I pull that way down as well. So first thing, start out, I have a scale here, so I'm not using a measuring cup for any of this. It's just with the scale. Makes it really simple, really easy. The first thing, the recipe is the pumpkin, so I use 240 grams of the pumpkin instead of the 180 on the original one because of the amount of peanut butter I use. So I'm just measuring out, like I said, 240 grams of pumpkin. Almost there. Good enough. And I'm already making a mess. Then next thing is just 1 egg. I think the next time I try to make these, I'm going to try to use egg whites. I'm gonna guess that the egg in this probably helps it bake with the actual yolk. But I would like to see if I could use egg whites instead to make the fat level even lower, but I'll experiment on that on another day. Then we have the peanut butter. Rinse off my thing here. So on the original recipe, the peanut butter actually calls for like 60 grams. I do not use that much. I only use 1 tablespoon, so it's just 16 grams. I put the peanut butter on the scale, then zero it out, and then take out what you need. It's a lot more accurate than trying to weigh it like by putting it in the bowl. So if you're on prep and you're also weighing out your nut butters, that is the best way to weigh out your nut butter without cheating. Don't ever use a tablespoon. That is definitely not the right way to do it because you will be eating over your calories. Then we have some vanilla. This stuff I don't measure. That's just how I grew up. I do not measure spices or anything like that unless it's something like baking powder, but otherwise I just put it all into taste. So vanilla, a pinch of nutmeg, which I literally put just a tiny amount in. Nutmeg is very strong. If you do too much, that is all you will taste whenever you finish baking that. Cinnamon, again, however much you want. It says 3/4 tablespoon. I just put a little bit in because instead of completely cinnamon, I like to have it a little bit more chocolatey. So I put a little bit of cocoa powder in it too. Again, sorry that I don't measure that out. So we have our pumpkin, egg, peanut butter, vanilla, cinnamon, nutmeg, a little bit of cocoa powder, and then just a pinch of salt. Again, whatever a pinch is, whatever you consider a pinch. With all of that in, Then we go ahead and mix before we add in the protein powder. Then this is where you can also add like sweeteners if you want any sweetener drops or stevia, or it also suggests like sugar-free maple syrup. You can utilize that. I don't put anything extra in it. I just prefer not to put a bunch of the artificial sweeteners in these. And my protein powder, the Metabolic Nutrition Protozyme chocolate cake flavor is what we're using, because I would rather have a chocolate pumpkin than, I think this asks for, it doesn't specify, but I do chocolate. Last time I think I did a mix of chocolate and peanut butter, but I'm going straight chocolate today. This you just mix until it's smooth. Then it says you're supposed to sift in the baking powder and protein powder. I'm not that fancy. I just sprinkle it in. So the baking powder, definitely measure this. Don't guesstimate this. You will have a hot mess on your hands if you try to guess this. So this one is actually 1 teaspoon. So I have my teaspoon right here, and then just try to sprinkle it around a little bit. And then before I put the protein powder in, I'm actually gonna mix the baking powder around some, because you want that even throughout the batter. And then the protein powder is, his recipe is 2.5 scoops, but different protein types and everything. Mine is, so 80 grams, so mine is only 2.25 scoops. So it doesn't really matter when you're weighing it, because I never measure protein by the scoops anyways, because the scoop is either way under or way over. It's really weird. So always weigh your protein powders. But we are looking for 80 grams. 66. 79, why does that bug me? 80, okay. So, and then whenever you mix in the protein powder, it always says in all the recipes, be careful to not over mix. I don't really know what that particularly means, because I usually mix quite a bit and I've never had stuff turn out bad, so I don't know how much over mixing is, and I don't know what happens if you over mix it. So, you know, just make sure it's all mixed together, but don't go crazy, I guess. And I'm not using a hand mixer, I'm just using like a regular whisk. And then one of the notes on here does say, depending on the consistency of your batter, you might have to add a little bit of milk. You can pick whatever kind of milk you want, but the consistency should be not too thick, but you know, thick enough to hold a little bit of shape. So you don't want it runny like water, but this is actually perfect. I'm not gonna add anything else in. And then with the chocolate chips that I add in, like I said, I only do part of the amount. I just do 2 servings of the Lily's. Normally I get just like the milk chocolate, but they were out of that. So I have the semi-sweet Lily's. It's the no sugar added. So I'm just gonna do 2 servings of this. And I do weigh that out too. Get a little container, and instead of mixing it in the batter, I put the batter in the cupcakes, and then I put a couple of chocolate chips in each, just so like one muffin doesn't have 30 chocolate chips and the other none. Because otherwise your macros are gonna be kind of off on it, and maybe I'm just way too detailed on that. So 2 servings in that, so I will save those. And then just for making it easy, putting it in the, so I use the measuring cup instead. That way I can put close to even amount in each. And last time I actually even weighed them out to make sure they were pretty spot on accurate. That way they would cook the same time, and these will also cook a little bit faster than what the original recipe says too. I'll be honest, I don't really set specific times. I always set for about 10 minutes and then I check, and usually these, last time I think they took about 15 minutes, but you check if they're done by sticking a toothpick in the middle, and if it comes out clean, then you're good to go. But I am gonna pour these in, and then I will show you guys what they look like once I get them in the tin. Alright guys, I am done scooping them in, measuring them out, and here we are. Finished products. 10 little muffins here. We are going in the oven at 350. I'm going to start it at 10 minutes, check them, and then probably another 5, and then they should be done. So while we're waiting, I will mention I did make sure to write down the macros on these. So for the full batch of 10, it's 658 calories, 70 protein, 48 carbs, 24 fat, and 17 grams of fiber. So for each one, it's 65 calories, 7 grams of protein, 4.8 carbs, and 2.4 fat. So that is your macro breakdown for the chocolate pumpkin protein muffins. They are a pretty low calorie snack. Pretty whole food. Obviously you have the protein powder in there, but everything else is very minimal ingredients and super easy, quick, and a nice fall treat. So alright guys, they're done. They look amazing. They smell even better. Nice, fresh out of the oven. Can't wait to try some. So let me know what you guys think of the recipe if you try it and if you like them, and let me know what else you guys want to see from me. And thank you again for subscribing and following my channel, and I will see you guys next time.